tutorial. In this class I'll be showing you how to make this overlapping mermaid gown. So this overlapping mermaid gown I'm going to start it up by making my border lines on my paper. So whenever we are drafting, I always encourage you have your border lines, as your border lines will serve as a guide for you. So this border line I've made right now, I'm going to divide my line from end to end. Okay, this skirt is really overlapping in 4 sections. So from the beginning to the end I have 25 inches. So I'm using the width of this paper, but when you are drafting, I will encourage you to use your waist circumference. So this paper I have here is 25, and if I divide it by 4 sections, I will have 25 divided by 2. I have 12.5, so half of it is 6.25. So this is what I'm going to do. I'll just go ahead and mark 6.25 from the beginning of my paper. 6.25. What I'm doing here is representing my waistline, but because I'm making or demonstrating this in a small scale paper. All right, so this is what I did. I would like to explain it for you to understand. So if you are working on your paper or on your fabric for this overlapping skirt, the first measurement you are going to take is your waist circumference divided by 2. So my waist circumference I'm working with here is 36 inches. That is my waist circumference, 36. You can see it, 36. Divide by 2 of 36 is 18. Can you see? 18. So I'll place my tape on the edge of my paper and I will mark from here to here 18 inches. I will pick this 18 inches, which is half of my waist. I'll bring it back to another section. I'll mark 18 inches. So whatever your waist is, divide it by 2. Keep marking them in 4 sections. I believe you understand me. 18 inches. 18 inches. Can you see? So half of your waist, half of your waist, half of your waist in 4 sections. So if you are using fabric, you also mark half of your waist in 4 sections this way. So this section right now, I'll come back again. I'll mark in 4 sections again. I'm going to rule my line downwards. So that is why I'm marking it. So we are going to divide. If it's fabric you are using, if it's paper you are using, whatever you want to work on directly to achieve this skirt piece, you have to make this division. All right, so once that is done, this section is going to be your front. This section is going to be your back. All right, so this is front and basket pattern. Now I'll come to the back. I'll divide my back by 2 and get my mid line. This is my mid line. Can you see that? This is my mid line. So this mid line right now, I'll pick up what I have right there. I'll come to my desired hem and I will mark. So let's say this skirt, I want it because it's a mermaid gown. So if this is your waist, definitely you will have your hip area somewhere around here. Okay, You have your upper hip 2 inches after it. You have your knee line somewhere around here. Then I want to use the whole of this because it's a mermaid gown, so I'll use the whole of this. So I'll rule my upper hip line from end to end, both the back and front. So this is my lower hip, for the front. Then our upper hip. So if you have been following our channel, you understand what we mean by upper hip and lower hip. Okay, so the lower hip is your actual hip position where your hip rests, and this is my knee position where my actual knee position is situated. I will use broken mark to show it because it's going to guide us in this construction. Then what I have from here to here will serve as the full length of this gown, of this skirt, including our mermaid gown extension. Okay, so you know how we go about our mermaid gown extension. So usually for our mermaid gown, from this back skirt pattern, remember I was already dividing half of it, okay, and this is the point of the half. So I'll just use dotted line to divide the center back. This is called the center back. I believe this explanation, this class is understandable. So this is my center back line. If you are making a mermaid gown, you know we always need the center back to form the train. Okay, so we don't need any center front right here for the front, so we just need the center back. So next I'm going to start up from my front going to the wrap. So this part is both the wrap and the wrap for the back. That is wrap for the front because we have front wrap. We have this is back wrap, the one that is going to go to the back, and this is wrap, the one that is going to come to the front. Okay, so that is how it is on the thumbnail. So once you have gotten this is exactly what you expected to have, as you can see. So I'm trying to make this very easy for you to understand. So now we've gotten this is our normal waistline. This is the center back, this is the back pattern, half of the back, half of the front. So if you are making a normal skirt, what we need is from here to here, but because there is a wrap, we have it extended to this part for front and back. So the next thing we are going to do on this lower hip, this is the knee position. Remember your actual knee. So if your knee, your waist to knee is 21, for example, this is the 41 length. So actually what you will do, like I'm working on a small scale, from here you step up by 4 inches on your actual knee position. Step up by 4 inches, and from your lower hip you step down by 3 inches. So once you have done that, next you bring in your pattern ruler and create that curve you are seeing in front of that dress. So you can see how I'm creating that curve. You can use your free hand to create it. You can also decide to use your ruler. So I've created this. So the next is what we have right here. We are going to curve it to the end of this to complete the wrap. So I'll place my pattern ruler this way. So I'll place it in a way that I'm going to blend it into this, so there won't be any sharp point. So I'll go this way. Can you see that? So I've blended it for that part. So note that we have a center back for the center back line, And if this is a mermaid gown we are making, you know we usually have extension. So if this is where the length of this skirt is going to be, normally we have extension from the knee line or above the knee line. So I'll just use this above the knee line extension for our mermaid gown. This is it. So from the knee, from the extension of the train at the center back now, I'll just come out by 4 inches. I'll just come out. I'm working on a small scale, so this is 4 inches. So if you are working on yours, please ensure you have your 4 inches. So from here I will connect my mermaid train, okay, from there, just like we have our mermaid gown. You know how you do that. So we connect it to that point. Okay, so once we have connected it to that point, usually from that point you come up by about 3 inches to form the train. Okay, so what I'm constructing here is just a mermaid gown. So from that 3 inches we are going to make the train. Can you see? So I have the train. So if you are working on this dress, please ensure you use your actual measurement. So this is my train for my mermaid gown. So that is the center back you saw us constructing right now. So next is to go ahead and construct the wrap. So for this wrap, there's nothing much but to extend this from here, from that point, and connect it to the train. Can you see me connecting it? So how I placed my pattern ruler, I have to connect it straight to the train. Okay, so you can just come from here and connect it because it's not really that extended. So you can see how I connected it to this point. So you have that curve. So this is what our pattern will look like at the end of the day. So make sure you blend sharp points. You don't need sharp points at this point. So now at the front, this is our front pattern piece. You know there's a basque, so I'll just find the midpoint of what I have here. Then at the center front area, you come down by 5 inches to create that basque. Because if this is going to be attached to the skirt pattern, to the top, as you can see, then you need to create this basque on your skirt. So we are done with this pattern right now. Next is to cut out our pattern. So I believe you understand what happened right here. So this is actually technical, but it's something you can do. So this is the shape we have for our skirts. Can you see that? So now I'm going to cut what I have right here on my pattern. So this is how the skirt . So let me go through my waistline. So once I get to the front, I'll do what? I'll create my back. So unless you don't need a basque, then you can make that part straight. Then I'll come over to the next wrap. And I go right into the front and cut through the blended edge. So this is what the pattern looks like. So now, the way this dress goes right now, first, we are going to wrap it from the front. This is the front line. So that is the front. We have wrapped the front. Then next, the wrap for front. Okay, the front wrap will go in this way. It will just go, take that straight line to the end this way. This one with the basque goes in this way, and this goes to the back. So if you are sewing it into the dress, you just go ahead and sew it into the dress. And if you are using a rope to wrap it, you just go ahead and attach a rope here, and tie it right there. So you can see what we have right there, and it actually looks exactly like what we have on the thumbnail. So if you notice, I can see that this part is covering that wrap a little bit more. So from what we have on the thumbnail, you don't actually have this much. Okay, I bend it from this point. So let me bend it from the, let's go from the extension. So it's actually supposed to be from the extension. Okay, so if it goes from the extension, let's see what we are going to have when it goes to the extension, or else we will be reducing this part. Okay, so from the extension is still being somehow difficult, so that means we don't need an extension at that point. So from what we have on that front, this part is actually open, so I'm going to reduce it a little bit now. Alright, so before we cut it on fabric, because the way it is on paper, you might not really appreciate it. So before we cut this on fabric, I'm going to make that adjustment. So the adjustment I'm making right here is just to open up the knee part, so it looks like what we have on the thumbnail. So actually the knee or the dart position will be somewhere here, so I'll just take it somewhere there, and I'll just blend it into this line this way. Okay, so, and when I open it, I'll take it to meet what we have on the hem. Okay, so this is actually a creative wrap gown. So I'm still following my my mermaid extension. So at the end of the day, it will be free at that point. So this is it, and I think by the time we cut it on fabric, this part will be able to be free on its own. Okay, you understand? So now I'm going to transfer this on fabric. Let's see how it flows right now. So when you are transferring this on fabric, please take note that you place your pattern this way. You can see what I mean is, this is the right side. If it's a doll face satin fabric or Ankara, this part will be on the right side, facing the floor or the table where you want to cut it. And the front will also face the fabric this way. Or else, after cutting this wrap, you turn out to have it on the wrong side. So I'll just secure with my pin right now. I'll secure with my pin. So I'm going to cut now, adding my necessary seam allowance. So since this is a wrap top, a wrap skirt, it will not have a lining. Okay, so it wraps very well. So all you do is to finish up the edges very well, the way you know how. You can use a bias finishing or trimmings, or you can also use your hemming gum to finish it up nicely. So I'll go into the basque and I'll come out. I'll get to the end. So I've added my seam allowances where necessary right now. Alright, so once that is done, next we are going to do is to make notches. Of course, this part, the basque has already given it the notch we need, but you actually need to make notches, or else it will be difficult for you to note where to wrap. So I'll take off my pattern, and this is what my wrap dress. So I'll just go and finish up with my bias, as you can see. So wherever I have the notch, the front notch, I'll just hold it down right here because that is exactly what we are going to have at the end of the day. So I just use my pin to hold it. Then I'll bring in this one. So this one is supposed to be for this. So there's another thing we need to do for it. You know it has a basque. So since it has a basque, we are going to pin it and cut off the basque for the front wrap. So at the end of the day, it matches up with the front. So this is what I mean. Once you hold it on without cutting this, the basque will not show. The basque will not show. So you just go ahead and mark out the basque only on the front wrap. Can you see that? Only on the front wrap. Then I will take this to the back. That is how it's going to be for the back. So like I said, if you are making this dress with a gown together, then that means you have this sewn into this way. It will be sewn like this into it. And if you want to wrap it, simply attach a rope right here, attach the next one right here, tie them here, okay, to hold on to your gown. So that is it, and I believe this class was helpful to you. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comment on the comment section and your suggestions as well. Thank you for coming. See you in the next class. Bye.